There's a lot of allegations against MrBeast and that he's a sociopath and all of this kind of stuff. And I wanted to make a reaction to that as a spiritual teacher, kind of coach guide. And so I had a spiritual awakening and a couple of years ago. And I'll tell you something that I've observed in life in general, and that made me change my life a lot. So and that goes exactly, this is exactly about these situations. I'm going to explain it. That most people are uncleared in themselves, especially the people looking for a lot of success and a lot of like fame. There is some problem with them because they're unsatiable. There's like literally no reason why to become so much more richer, so much, there's, you cannot say it's like an idealistic thing. There's something literally wrong with that person. But the funny thing is, you usually need that kind of wrongness in order to even get there. But once you're there, you cannot turn it off anymore. And this is literally the problem with a lot of these, famous people, celebrities, any kind of successful people, and all of this stuff. And now comes the thing, like, they have a certain energy to them, and that is usually like doing anything to become successful, literally anything. And then on the other side, you also have something else, which is that you start to collect people around you because you need them to get to that goal a lot of times. Unless you have a sport where you're like a solo, for example, you are, I don't know, you're like a golf pro. You don't need much other people other than a coach maybe and two or three like therapy people or something. I don't know. But in most situations, if you get really big, like you need people around you. And here comes the problem. I looked at a lot of cases, a lot of different cases, and the interesting thing is, it's always other people. It's always other people that bring your operation down. Always. It's like let's say you're a super secret, like you're super secret, and you're kind of like not telling anyone anything, but then you have someone, let's say like a bodyguard or something, and you get suddenly famous. That person will spill everything they know. So my kind of advice is for anybody in general is, don't get so many people around you. Learn to be alone, learn to be happy being alone, learn to be, because especially if you're on the track to success. Now the funny thing is that, I don't know if these allegations are right or wrong. I mean, anytime you have massive amounts of success, you're going to have also massive amounts of jealousy. There is something which I call toxic metaframing, which is basically somebody who's much better for you with a lot of things. You're going to take them down. Then also don't forget that a lot of people that are not good looking, once they have success, they're going to use that sexually also, to gain advantages a lot of times. And then if you're the front man, you can maybe kind of like do this in a good way rather than a bad way, unless you're a total psychopath, of course. But the people around you that also get into these situations, which are kind of like, which, I mean, let's say, for example, I had a team of like 10 people and I would suddenly get famous. I have no control over what these 10 people will do. And I'm pretty sure that at some point they will do something that fucks me up. So what I'm saying is learn to be alone, to not associate with people, to maybe sometimes do this in a way that you forfeit the actual success, or have a little bit less success than you were aiming for, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And I call this standing between egos, because if you are cleared yourself, you're like a highly sensitive, spiritual person, spiritual being. You don't want to have two uncleared people. Like, for example, I could do 1,000 tantra massages. As an example, I could do 1,000 tantra massages, and and everybody, all the women would be like happy, and it just needs one crazy one that is maybe even lying, and I'm going to prison. So that's what I'm. And then you're dealing, once you're in front of court, you're dealing all with unspiritual, very very unspiritual, very disconnected people from, you know, real heart chakra connection, all of this stuff, just because of one stupid client. So what I'm saying is, be super careful who you deal with. The less the better, if you can do it. And spiritual awakening helps because it helps you disconnect from different types of desires that get you into that thing. And with MrBeast, the problem is his desire for success is so big that it was clear it will eventually get him into problems, no matter what. I mean, even for example, if Michael Jackson, if everything that he's done was if he had never done anything bad, it still got him into trouble, because he was dealing with people who then are and then connected to people. So even if kids come visit him, he's still connected to parents, you know, that have formed their own opinion, all of this stuff. So stay away from people as much as possible, especially nowadays. People are extremely toxic.